Hi, my name's Shannon Sked. I'm the Manager of Innovations and Entomologist with Western Pest. I'm here today to talk to you about our new service program called Western PurClean. It's a disinfection program, and since we've rolled this out, I've been getting a lot of questions coming in, and we thought it would be a good idea to put something together to try to address a lot of those more common questions, maybe give you some information so that you can make an informed decision about what makes most sense for your facility. I'm going to start with probably the most common question that I get is, why is pest control getting involved in this service? Well, it just turns out that the disinfectants and sanitizers that are actually regulated are regulated by the same exact agency that oversees our pest management regulations. So pesticides, disinfectants, sanitizers, they're all regulated by the EPA under the act called FIFRA. Our training and our licensing is actually already in place. So it's just a nice turnkey operation. We're already set up to actually be able to perform these services. The other thing is that when you look at the industry as a whole through MPMA, and you look at our mission statements and our value statements through our company compass and whatnot, you'll see that a lot of these things shown here down at the bottom of the screen actually are aligned perfectly with what disinfection programs are designed to do. Creating healthier and living and working environments, protecting homes, businesses, and brands. In the end, it basically just sets up a perfect system where there's a business alignment that's created to make this mission of help. So the other question that I get a lot of has to do with disinfecting versus sanitizing versus cleaning. There's a lot of confusion around it, and it actually turns out that there's a lot of different definitions for these things. We are following the CDC and the FDA's definitions of disinfection. And I need to kind of explain why we're going with the terminology of disinfectant for this service offering. A cleaning is actually just getting rid of the dirt, grease, and grime debris that's on the surface. It doesn't do anything to actually get rid of germs. It doesn't do anything to kill the microbes. Disinfecting and sanitizers are actually designed to kill these microbes. The sanitization program is one where it actually brings the level of those microbes down to a low enough number where it's deemed safe by some type of regulatory agency. Unfortunately, for SARS-CoV-2, the causal agent of COVID-19, that doesn't exist. So we decided to go with a disinfecting service. A disinfecting service is one that kills all three different types of microbes that cause illness. Bacteria is shown here on the bottom left with E. coli, fungi in the middle, and of course everybody's familiar with the picture of SARS-CoV-2, the causal agent of COVID-19, our current pandemic, which is a virus. Not only that, but it has to kill it at a very high rate, 99% plus. It does differ from residual treatments. There's a lot of terminology out there with things that last for 30, 60, 90 days. Actually, those are designed for treating bacteria and fungus that either cause odors or they're food-borne pathogens. Currently, there's nothing that I've seen or that we found that is actually designed for killing viruses for any length of time outside of the time of treatment. So disinfecting is a one-time shot. It knocks the numbers down significantly, 99% plus, and it's designed to kill all three different types of microbes that can make people sick. When we were looking at the different products that are out there, one of the things that the EPA did was they created this list called List N. You could look it up, it's on Google. And basically what that means is instead of waiting for all of these manufacturers to come out with products labels that actually list SARS-CoV-2, they said that they were going to put these products on and they meet the criteria for use against SARS-CoV-2, the causal agent of COVID-19. So we started off with that list and we were looking for things that had a very high kill rate. The product that we chose actually has a 99.999% kill rate on the label for almost 50 different diseases and foodborne pathogens. They include things like swine flu, E. coli, HIV, Hep C. You can see the list that I have on here. The point is that it's a very strong disinfectant product. However, it's got two different classes of chemistries, and that unique combination, there's actually only two products out of 402 that are on that list N. This unique combination not only makes them very powerful, but it also allows them to be gentle. So for example, the last three bullets that are here, the EPA has actually listed this as a toxicity category 4. It's their lowest toxicity category. Basically what that means is it's practically non-toxic and not an irritant. The NSF International, which is a third-party auditing schematic for food safety, they actually listed this product under D2. What that means is you don't have to rinse, wash off, or wipe down after the product's been dried to reuse food process surfaces. So it's basically safe enough where once it's dry, you can reuse those surfaces. And there's no ozone harming volatile organic compounds, none of that pungent odor that can actually be an irritant. Just as importantly as what's chosen is the process that's designed. We went with a 3-step process, and I'll explain this. The first one is preparation. That's really important because we need pretty much 2 things to be done. One is that the general surfaces have to be clean. Now remember, cleaning is removal of the debris and all of those, the grease, grime, and gunk that's on top of surfaces. The reasons for that is that these microbes actually settle on the surface, and once they're on the surface, if there is debris that's on top of it, our product won't get down and actually make contact with those microbes. If we don't make contact with those microbes, we don't get that high kill rate. So we need to be cleaned off so that we can actually get our product onto all those surfaces and get that high 99.999% kill rate. The other thing has to do with protecting valuables. So anything that gets wet that would be damaged if it got wet, things like papers or pictures that are not covered by glass coverings in a frame, those should be stowed away. That's just to protect those documents and to protect those pictures. Once we're set up with preparation, we'll come in and we'll do a wipe down. We're going to wipe down all the high contact areas, all the high touch points. Those include things like door handles, phones, keyboards. And the reason why we do that is the vast amount of literature that's out there shows that in a disproportionate amount, these microbes actually exist on these high contact areas. Not only do they exist on the tops and on the fronts of these, but they exist on the underside and on the backs of these items as well. While we are going to be doing a mist, we're going to mist everything as our last step. The mist will settle on the top, it'll settle on the surfaces. So anything that's a ULV, a fogging, or a misting, it's not going to get necessarily all that well underneath or on the back sides of these things. So we wipe those all down. And then finally, we do a full misting. We use a backpack applicator that actually measures out the size of the particles that are coming out, as well as the rate. And the reason why that's important is we need to get an even coating that'll last for 10 minutes. We have to have 10 minutes of wet time. That's what's required to get that high kill rate. As a matter of fact, while our technicians are doing that final step in misting, they'll come back to where they started at about 8-9 minutes in, and they'll take a look and make sure that it's not evaporating too fast. If it is, they're going to reapply so that we get at least a cumulative amount of 10 minutes of wet time for that effective kill. Once that's all done, we leave it to dry. There's no wipe down, no rinsing, and no cleaning that's necessary. However, I will mention that some surfaces such as glass and mirrors, you might see a residue, so you may want to have those wiped down, but that would be for aesthetic reasons, not for safety reasons. One of the best values in this is that you get the same grain surface that you know from Western Pest. The same technicians that have been offering you pest control for years and years and decades are going to be the same ones that are going to be offering this disinfecting service. So the value that you've gotten, the customer care, all of those intangibles, that'll still be in place for you with this new service. The benefits are you're going to get insurance that your environment has been disinfected. As a matter of fact, you'll get a certificate of disinfection at the end of the service. And that's just a document that on this day and at this time, your environment was disinfected. So that's the information that I have for now. I hope that this was really helpful. I hope it might have cleared up some of the misinformation or some of the confusion that you might have had, allow you to make a really good informed decision about what's going to be best for your property. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to talking to you soon.